Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a new series. We're going to be doing What If Deku was the first person to ever have a quirk. I'll probably name it something else, but that's the title that I'm going with, or the first title that I'm going with. And let's get straight into this video. Let's go back 70 million years ago when the dinosaurs were first born. I don't know when the dinosaurs were first born, so when the dinosaurs were first roaming the earth, so let's just go with that. Izuku Midoriya, a lonely or a lowly cave person. Well, first he was a cave person. Didn't know any better. Didn't know how to speak. Didn't know how to properly walk. He didn't know how to do anything except to hunt and survive. But one day would change his life forever. As he was roaring and growling at a dinosaur that was trying to kill him, he grabbed his spear and rushed at the dinosaur with ferocious speed, and started to violently attack the beast, the monster that was threatening his safety. So he had to fight back. And then as the dinosaur sunk its teeth into Izuku's shoulder, as Izuku screamed out in pain. But then, as he grabbed the dinosaur's tongue and started to pull on it with all of his might. And then, as he accidentally pulled off his arm, he pulled off his arm, but also pulled out the dinosaur's tongue along with his arm, which caused the dinosaur to shriek and gag up Izuku's arm and its tongue at the same time, while Izuku's hand was still gripping its tongue. And as Izuku just completely raged out. But then something snapped within him. Something ferocious. Something deadly. And then as his eyes began to glow bright red, almost as if it was on fire, and then as he roared again, and then as he rushed at the dinosaur, faster, stronger, and then as his arm suddenly reappeared out of nowhere, and then as he roared a primal roar and jumped up and stabbed the dinosaur right in its eye with his broken spear, and kept stabbing and stabbing and stabbing until he reached its brain and ripped out its brain. And then as the dinosaur fell, and then as Izuku held up its brain and roared in victory. And then as Izuku looked at the pond and noticed his eyes were red, and as he felt so angry, he didn't know why, he just felt angry. He didn't know what this feeling was. And then as he started to breathe heavy, but then he started to breathe slowly and slowly and slowly until his eyes became green again. And then as he just looked at himself, and then as he just saw himself, as he touched his reflection and saw a new scar on his shoulder. And then, yes, the teeth mark that the dinosaur made, it healed itself, but it also did become a scar. And then Izuku just walked into the distance. And over the years, Izuku became more intelligent, became more self-aware, and he didn't know what this power was, but he decided to use it for good. And over the years, he roamed or traveled all across the world. He didn't need to eat. He didn't need to sleep. All he needed to do was survive and fight. Since Izuku became, how shall I say, a battle junkie, he loved to fight. Every single day, he just fought random monsters and beasts. And so, as I said, Izuku roamed the world until he ended up in a place called Greece. As Izuku found the place that was called Greece, and he heard about these people called Spartans and gladiators. So, first, he decided to be a gladiator, hone his skills in battle, and perfect his art in battle. And then he decided to become a Spartan warrior. And Izuku eventually saw the fall of Greece. So he decided to travel elsewhere. And also, yes, Izuku was at the scene at 300. Izuku was there in 300. He was the only survivor. While everybody else thought he was dead, he was still alive, but kicking. And he did see the civilization of Greece fall, so he decided to travel elsewhere. And then he appeared in Japan, and he became a samurai. One of the first samurai to ever exist. And as Izuku decided to craft a blade that was so powerful, it was able to withstand his power because every weapon that he wielded either broke or he just didn't like. So he decided to wield a katana since that was his most proficient weapon, a katana. But not just any katana, a katana that was made from dragon scales, the most powerful metal in the earth or on earth, and a little bit of his blood mixed in with the lava. It was a masterpiece, and he decided to call it Ryu. And yes, Izuku's master did fall, so he became a Ronin. He was a gladiator. Well, first he was a caveman, a gladiator, a Spartan warrior, and now he's a Ronin. Or he's first a samurai, then a Ronin, and then he decided to become a ninja. And then he brought his katana Ryu with him. Oh, and by the way, this is what the katana looks like. This is basically what the sword looks like in all of its beautiful glory. I wish I had that sword. Huh, that sword looks awesome. But anyway, let's get back into the story. As Izuku decided to go to America. Oh, and also I forgot to mention, Izuku lived through all disasters. Every disaster that happened on Earth, Izuku was there for. Except up to now, basically the plague, way back then, Izuku was there and survived. Oh, and also Izuku's quirk is called improvement. Any person that he has fought, that he basically Izuku can copy any skill or any power that. Okay, for example, have you, if you guys have ever watched an anime called I'm Quitting Hearing, the main protagonist had a power called Improvement, the unique skill Improvement. Basically, what any skill or unique skill that he saw, or the person that had the skill, he was able to take the skill and improve the skill. Basically, that's what Izuku has, mixed in with a little Spartan rage from God of War. Basically, picture it like this: if he fought Bakugo or Todoroki, Izuku was able to copy Todoroki's fire and ice, but instead of the fire being normal fire, the fire would be black and the ice would be black as well. And for Bakugo's explosions, think of it like when Bakugo had One for All, but on steroids. I'm making Izuku very, very OP in this. And picture if he got a hold of Uraraka's quirk. Instead of just being able to have zero gravity, he'll be able to have gravity and manipulation. He can make himself or other people as light as he wants or as heavy as he wants to. So that's basically the extent of Izuku's quirk. And also, he can't really die. If he ever gets sick, his body improves. If his body ever gets damaged from old age, his body will improve. So Izuku just looks the same. He looked like this in the cave, like way back when the dinosaurs existed. And yes, he did get, he did get blown up by the comet that killed off all the dinosaurs, but guess what? Izuku survived, and he got element resistance. Basically, he's immune to fire, ice, water. He can't really drown. He knows how to swim perfectly. Um, he can't get burnt. His body doesn't even get singed. Not even charcoal kind of burnt. Body doesn't get burnt. He can't feel cold. Um, he can't drown, as I said. Stuff like that. That's what I mean by the improvement quirk. But anyway, let's get back to the story. And then as Izuku started to live in America while also checking up on Japan from time to time, he got a job as basically just hauling in shipments and also taking down some monsters during doing other stuff like that. And Izuku was there for the um, cowboy era, or the gun era, as I should say. And then as Izuku, or we're gonna time skip we're gonna time skip ahead, and now we go to the events of World War One. And also Izuku was already fought for Germany against commander of the third rank, if you catch my drift. Izuku already was there. Already. So now Izuku is in World War One and Two. Yes, Izuku was in World War One and World War Two. So, and also he got a feel for guns. So now, not only he's an expert swordsmanship, he knows how to use an axe, spear, sword, katana, bow and arrow, kunais, guns. Any weapon that was ever created, Izuku can wield without any difficulty. But his favorite weapon is the katana. And yes, he uses Ryu. Yes, he does use Ryu. And over the years, Izuku has gained super speed, super strength, durability, enhanced or ultra regeneration, elemental resistance, as I said, and weapons mastery. Those are Izuku's skills that he's acquired over the years. And he can move faster than the eye can see. Or no, let me put it this way: he can move faster than the speed of than lightning. He can move faster than lightning. Um, he can slice a mountain in one. He can slice a mountain in one slash. He can pick up a whole mountain. I may add. Izuku's just basically a tank. He's a powerhouse, and Izuku was always in the front lines for any big event or war. Izuku was always in the front lines fighting for his country, or the country that he was in for the time. And so now we time skip all the way to the My Hero Academia. To the My Hero Academia timeline. Basically, Izuku's just been fighting in wars. He's been in the military. He's been a police officer. He's been an FBI agent. He's been a CIA agent. He's just been everybody, or everything and everybody. And yes, Izuku did eventually move back to Japan because that's where he felt most comfortable. And Izuku does know every language known to man. He knows that. And over the years, or then the first or second quirk appeared. And Izuku was reading the newspaper one day, and then as he saw a kid that was glowing very bright. And Izuku was interested, very interested. And then as he kept reading and kept being involved in the story of the quirks, he had a revelation. He was the first person to have a quirk. He was the first person to have a quirk. And he didn't really name his power. He just used it to fight. He just used it for what he thought was right. So he decided to give it a name. And he decided to name it Improvement. And he kind of deducted, and also Izuku's IQ, it's over 1,000. He's super smart. So he conducted he realized all of the things that had happened to him and all of the things that transpired in his life because of a quirk. So now Izuku's pretty excited to see what happens next. And then as he heard of a villain, a complete mastermind, an evil mastermind that was known as a demon king, a person who showed no mercy whatsoever to no one. And then Izuku said, interesting, I may have to fight this person. But as he just got done with defeating all of Awful One's old lackeys, he saw the ultimate event that just transpired. Awful One and his brother sharing that little conflict moment, and Izuku was there. And then as Awful One looked at Izuku and said, well, you're the person who made my life hell. Well, I guess we finally meet. What is your name? And as Izuku started to think, he never had a name. Or a name that he truly called his own. He used aliases. He only was called, for most of his life, he was only called soldier or warrior or a monster or a villain or a fiend because of the stuff that he did as a gladiator, as a Spartan warrior, as a Ronin, and as a samurai, and as a ninja. He didn't really have a name. Then he started to think. And then as he saw someone flashing in his head, and then as he said, my name is Izuku Midoriya. And then as he pulled out Ryu, and also he had Ryu on his back. And also this is what Izuku's wearing right about now. This is what he's wearing. He's wearing, and also some army camo pants. Some camo army pants with a shirt and those elbow things, and with Ryu on his back. Then as he pulled Ryu out of its sheath, and then as he said, and I am your defeat, Demon King. Their battle was fierce. As Izuku rushed at Awful One with blinding speeds, and then as Awful One threw away his younger brother, and then as Awful One made his hands into a blade, and then blocked Izuku's strike, and as he said, wow, you're strong. This is the first time in a while where I had somebody who was my match. Then as Awful One rushed at Izuku with the same blinding speeds as him, then as Izuku parried and slashed Awful One in the cheek, kicking him away. Then as Awful One shot a barrage of fireballs at Izuku, but Izuku easily was able to slash them all away, or cancel them out with his blade. Then as his eyes grew red, and started to glow a crimson red, then as the sword also, or the sword blade, also started to glow red. And then as Izuku's teeth started to grow longer and his hair started to spike up a little bit. And then as he said, you will pay for all of the things that you've done. All for one! And then they started to go at it. The battle was fierce. Ultimately, All for One basically retreated. And instead of All Might giving All for One that injury, Izuku did. And yes, All for One did tried to take his quirk, but Izuku didn't even let him get the chance. Izuku didn't let him, basically. He either cut off his hand or dodged, or flash stepped him, or flash stepped away. He kept All for One at a distance, but at the same time, he did use Ryu and went in close. So yeah, Izuku still has improvement. And then as he sheathed Ryu, and then as he went down on one knee, and then as he said, I still have a lot to work on. Now I know that everybody or somebody can be stronger than me. And then as Izuku started to feel strange, different, and then as he thought to himself, well, looks like I got some new skills of my own. Have to test them out later. But first, as he walked towards, well, I forgot the first user. I'm just gonna call him the first user. As Izuku walked or ran towards the first user and said, "Hey, you good?" And as the first user smiled and said, "Yes, I'm okay. Thank you for saving me. Don't mention it. It's just a hero's job to save anybody who's in need." As Izuku smiled to himself. And then, as the first user smiled and said, "A hero, huh? Well, this could be a start of a good friendship." And that's where I'm going to be leaving it off, guys. Make sure you turn on that post notifications because I really like this story, or I really like the concept of this story. So I'm going to be doing this more often, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Uh, you know what? Actually, nah. I was gonna do a one shot, but that's gonna take a long time. So this is where I'm gonna be basically be leaving it off at. If you guys like this story, please, and also please communicate with me in my comment section. I know I really don't have that many subscribers or that many views, but please work with me here. Give me feedback. Give me what you liked, what you don't like. Just so I know that you want this story more. And turn on those notifications, and I will see you all later. Peace.